Hawks trying to stay hot. Coppin State trying to get back on track and take down a first-place team this afternoon at the Heights.
Tell you, the Eagles play a little bit of a kind of a junk defense. It's kind of a hybrid type zone. And again, the Hawks looked a little tentative, against this defense. But again, what you want to do against this is just use your man-to-man principles and attack it.
Hawks offense ranked 7th in the 8-team MEAC. They really do hang their hat on the defense. Boy, out of system there for UMES. It stays with the Hawks, though, 8 on the shot clock. What UMES does really well, though, is score from the inside, 54% from 2-point range.
Yeah, even though the Hawks have 8 seconds, they're usually pretty good on inbounds plays underneath their own basket. So, again, 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Zion Styles drives baseline. Pollard, 3 to shoot, in trouble, gets it up, and it missed everything but a play on instead of a shot clock violation. So how about that for Coppin State with a defensive start?
Coppin State, with their little hybrid defense.
Nanda Tark, floater no good, one of the top scorers for Juan Dixon.
And this is what the Hawks want to do, get it down in transition, beat that defense down the floor before there's a chance to set up.
Again, as fast as Coppin State can play, that's their game. Here's Sessoms. First shot, missed everything. Sessoms on number 3. It's kind of those type of players you walk in the building and go, all right, he's going to get his 21. How's he going to get all of them?
Yeah, I tell you, and Fofana did a pretty good job one-on-one defense at time, force him into a tough shot. That's what you want to do, make him take tough shots.
Zion, straightaway 3, connects. Part of his game that has erupted this year, shooting 43% from the perimeter.
Yeah, he's really improved his three-point shooting, and that was just a great shot right in rhythm. Stepped up and knocked it down.
Steers his pass knocked away. It stays with Coppin. Sessoms just kept his foot on this side of the floor. Tark, take 2. Soft touch, couldn't get the friendly bounce, so he's missed his first 2.
Yeah, a couple of tough shots. The Hawks have forced him into taking a couple of tough shots early.
Boyles thought about it on the take. And Pollard gets knocked down. And a foul called against Isaiah Gross for that box out.
Yeah, Nate Pollard does a good job of positioning himself for the offensive rebound. He gets a double points and rebounds just about every night.
Fofana triggering the inbound on the baseline. 20 on the shot clock, plenty of time for the Hawks. Nate Pollard, floater game. How about that? Get him going.
Yeah, nice job that time by Styles, being under control. A little nice pass, a little floater in the lane there by Nate Pollard. Is really improving his game in all aspects.
Sessoms on the cut. They get him moving for his first basket. Again, Sam Sessoms out of Philly. Just a scorer.
Yeah, just a score, like you said. It's just a nice cut to the basket.
And a back cut for the Hawks.
That's what you call back at you. You cut one way, we'll cut the same way, same result. Good job of moving without the basketball by Kevon Boyles.
UMES by 5. 2.5 gone by in the first half. Just getting started in Princess Anne, Maryland. Corner 3 coming. Knocked down. Daniel Titus. He only averages a couple points per game, but Coach getting off to a good start.
Report on him, he's a streaky shooter. Don't like to see that first one go down. Had a nice touch on that ball. Knocked down the 3 early. Might get his confidence going.
Styles wants another one. Just pushed it. Travel call. Sam Sessoms right along that sideline, and immediately he and Deshaun Phillip get in each other's faces.
Well, both Deshaun's team leader, with the Hawks, and Sam Sessoms the same thing. But again, just a little friendly chatter on a Saturday afternoon at the Heights. Nothing to be alarmed about. Both teams are really into it, man. Again, 1-4 Eagles, 4-1 Hawks, man. The Hawks want to keep it going. And so they got to be ready to play. Stay true to themselves.
So Sam Sessoms, if you look at Ken Palm, you look at the top 4 or 5 players in the league, Sam ranks at number 3 behind Joe Bryant Jr. of Norfolk State and NC Central's Justin Wright. So when you talk about Sam Sessoms, not just a guy that could score, one of the best all-around offensive players in the conference. So the Hawks come in knowing we're going to try to shut you down.
Yeah, they're going to make it difficult for him, make some tough shots. You know, the first shot he made was a tough shot, you know, but just don't want to give him anything easy.
Sessoms all over Fofana. Amadou trying to create space, just trying to maintain a dribble, set up the offense. Pass for Pollard, knocked away. Here comes Coppin State. Deep 3, Mike Hood left it short, trying to get one in transition. That is Coppin State, by the way, to a team. Moving fast, shooting threes.
Yeah, yep.
Good pass from Voiles. Stiles, step through. Got hit. So Stiles heads to the free throw line. First Hawks trip of the day.
And again, the Hawks have been aggressive against this defense. It's like a combo defense. Sometimes they're just playing straight man-to-man. But if you continue to attack it, when you play combo defenses, you're not really certain, just attack. And that's a great job of Stiles, just attacking the basket, getting it up on the glass, has an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws.
Zion averaging close to 11. Again, this is a UMES team that has no players in the top 10 in scoring, and they're in first place, having won 4 of 5 games. But Zion's probably, he and Kevon, those two sharing the offensive load mostly this year.
Most of the time, but, you know, like I said, you know, everybody plays. Again, you know, 16-minute mark just about, you know, Hawks are going to the bench. They're trying to keep fresh legs out there. On the other hand, the Coppin Eagles, they don't play a lot of people. Their starters play heavy minutes, so that may prove to be a little bit of a factor down the stretch, the fatigue factor against the Eagles.
Zion goes 2 for 2. Hawks open up a very small 4-point lead. Just outside the first media timeout.
Hawks showing a little pressure here. Cohen Thompson at the top of that point zone. Get a steal. That's what the Hawks do.
UMES turnover. Chase Davis laid it up. They count the basket. Called a goaltend on Nenda Tark. And that takes us to our first break. Hawks 11, Eagles 5. MEAC mashup. Little Maryland versus Maryland today on Facebook Live.
When you're part of something bigger than yourself, it feels like all you ever do is win, win, win. And when that something is an HBCU, you know you can't help but win, win, win. So, as proud supporters of HBCU programs, we just can't lose.
As a banker here at Town, we like to think our level of expertise is the best. Truth is, I know a lot of other really smart bankers at other banks. But what seems to really matter to us and our members is not that we know our way around a financial spreadsheet. It's our level of attention. We're easily available and ready to help when they need us.
There's head coach Jason Crafton, his team 4-1, tied for first place in the MEAC. And we said last year, hey, what a job Coach Crafton has done. And then we come into this year and say, wow, what a job Coach Crafton has done.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's been very good about keeping his players focused, and again, trying to keep them in the moment, whatever, to make sure the big challenge for him today is make sure that the team, they're going to be without one of their top reserves, Tuka Nugent, so that they next man up mentality. But he preaches a lot of things, and one of the things he talks about is tenacity, and being tenacious and playing the game with a lot of passion. So a lot of what he does is just trying to build that mindset, and it all starts with the mind. The other stuff will just kind of follow along. So, Jason's done a good job of getting his team to this stretch. Now can he kind of continue the success?
Hawks with a basket right before the media timeout, set up in a press. And to Tark looking in the corner for Cameron Blue. Now Tark on the take, and he draws the foul. And then to Tark, terrific at the free throw line. Excuse me, getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, good job by Tark, just taking the ball to the basket. They turned it over against the press before the timeout. They came out, attacked it. Tark just taking it to the basket. You get back on your heels and you continue to let teams pressure. You don't attack it. You're going to turn it over. So it's a good job by Tark taking it to the basket. Opportunity for 2 free throws.
So I mentioned he's great at getting there, but when he gets there, just 55%. This guy who's shot more than 105 free throws this year, only going in half the time.
And that's a key statistic, too. You don't make free throws.
So right on cue, Coach. He goes
55%, 1 for 2. That's 50%.
Fofana trying to thread the needle. Looked like a kick ball or just off a foot. The official looks like Damon Allen is telling Amadou, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, Amadou want to make sure that, that's not a turnover on him. So just trying to help the official out a little bit.
Those point guards, they want to make sure that the assist turnover stays positive always. So Fofana and the Hawks keep it.
Yeah, and Fofana's done a good job, transferring in from graduates from Canisius. It's not easy playing point guard, and he's kind of had to take that role, and this is his first year with the team. He's done an admirable job of leading this team from the backcourt position.
So far, Styles leads with 5, but he's on the bench. Pollard, good pass for Voiles. Kevon knocked away by Sessoms. Sessoms had his foot on the line when he made contact.
Hawks thus far doing a good job of attacking this half-court defense, this kind of hybrid defense, by just making hard cuts to the basket.
Another good inbound play, and Pollard with his second bucket.
Yeah, again, set the little screen and then roll from the screen, catches it in the paint, kisses it off the glass. Nice job there by Nate Pollard.
Called a 6-1 Hawks run, or quick burst. Davis all over Sessoms. He pulls it out.
Really aware of Sessoms.
4 to shoot. Titus back-to-back makes from the outside. Coach, you couldn't have said it better yourself. Streaky shooter getting hot early.
Yeah, getting hot early. And again, they were trying to get the ball out. They did a good job getting it out of Sessoms' hands. But when a shooter on the wing steps up and knocks down, that causes problems. Nice offense that time by the Coppin State Eagles.
Fofana tucks, takes. Beautiful move to lay it in through traffic.
Yeah, that's just a strong move, grown man move. That Bronx, New York City style, aggressive play by Fofana leads to an easy basket.
Sessoms whips it into the corner. Mike Hood one-on-one with Davis. Deep three, Cameron Blue cuts right through nylon, and that Coppin State three-point threat showing out early. 3 of 4 from the outside.
Yeah, they shoot the three-pointer, and they shoot it with little fear. That was, a deep three-pointer. But again, that's how they play. If you got to stay true to their identity, that's what they're going to do.
Thompson, three-point threat himself. Coppin playing quickly. Sessoms floats, kicks. Hood on the drive, lost it. And a foul called. It's on Nate Pollard.
Nate with a little bit of a reach around. The Hawks usually when they attack the ball, they are very active hands on the ball. That time he just kind of hit up instead of trying to just reach around and kind of swat down at it. The referee caught it. And Nate picks up his first foul. You don't like to see Nate pick up those kind of fouls because he's going to get a lot of his fouls down there in the paint where he's in there battling and bruising and knocking. So he gets one, 25 feet from the basket. That's not a good foul for him.
Titus looking for somewhere to go. He's hit 2 threes in the first half. Hood, head fake, reverse. That was nasty. Mike Hood, beautiful.
Boy, tough shot, you know, a little reverse English on it. Got it to go down.
Transfer out of Montana State, second year at Coppin. Len Anderson off the bench, running the offense. Again, no Tuca Nugent today. Royals through traffic, floats it up. Sessoms backs it out from the pack. Anderson all over Sessoms. Step back three. Sam Sessoms. That's what he does. Coppin State with the lead by 2.
Yeah, quick release. You know, Anderson's doing a good job. Just relax just for a second. You know, it's cold-blooded that time by Sessoms. Just knocks down the 3.
Anderson, nice crossover, got bumped. Ends up on the ground, gets a little pickup from Sessoms. It's like Cameron Blue threw out a little hip check there, so a foul on him. That's 4 now against Coppin State.
Hawks coming back with Zion Styles, a little bit more offense.
Both teams shooting well, which is interesting because they're at the bottom of the conference on the offensive side. Hawks shooting 50% so far, and Coppin State 60%. Upstead, first touch. Styles. Coach, the Hawks are staying patient, waiting for defenders to leap. Playing tight under pressure down there.
Yeah, I tell you, Zion Styles, excellent offensive player. Gathered himself, got himself under control, laid it up soft on the glass. You know, hit the rim a little bit, but soft touch, he gets the score down inside.
Titus driving kick. Gross gets a good look at the basket, and Coppin State buries its 5th three-pointer.
That's what they do. So, again, you know, little help that time. You know, Gross get the wide open three-pointer in the corner.
Upstead makes his move, falling away from the basket. Give him the bucket and the foul. Troy Upstead heading to the free throw line when we get back. Great back and forth. Great offense from Coppin State and the Hawks on Facebook Live.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
Now there's the famed Juan Dixon, 6th year at Coppin State, leading his Eagles. Coach, it's always a bit of an easy sell. You get into somebody's living room and you know, hey, why should I play for you? Go, well, I've won a national championship. I was a first-round pick in the NBA.
Yeah,
That's Juan Dixon.
Yeah, Juan Dixon, you know, got that NBA experience, national championship. And that timeout, I don't know if it was for his team or for the officials. He had all 3 of them over there, something that he wants to make them aware of. You know, if I'm the other coach, I'd like to have that same time. You know, if I'm Jason Crafton, can I reclaim my time? You know, but, you know, that's what coaches do, man. They're trying to, you know, to navigate their team, do those little things to try to eke out a victory, get an edge any way they can. And Juan Dixon's had an excellent career there at Coppin State. You know, he's done a lot of things that really promote the program. And, you know, again, you know, 2 quality coaches, Jason Crafton and Juan Dixon, really matching wits, so to speak, out here on Saturday afternoon at the Heights. One other thing, too, one of the assistants, a longtime veteran over there, Eric Skeeters. You know, I've known Eric for a long time. He was a coach many, many years. Having a veteran guy like that really helps Juan Dixon also.
So Troy Upstead at the free throw line looking to complete a 3-point play. Try to tie this thing at 20. And Upstead misses wide left. That's the Hawks, says Styles. Trying to use his feet to knock that one in the passing lane there. It stays with Coppin State, of course.
And again, you know, the Hawks have been effective with this press. You know, they had Cohen Thompson. He was game at the top of, but then they got an active Zion Styles. And Eagles look a little tentative against it.
Sessoms way outside. He just buried one from the wing, and now it's high up. And a jump ball earned by Isaiah Gross. Ian Hupstead fighting over the rebound.
Yeah, Isaiah Gross did a good job of, you know, tying up Hupstead. Hupstead got the rebound, tried to secure it, but Gross, give him the credit. He went in and forced the tie-up.
Coppin State has hit 5 of 7 threes in the first 8+ minutes of this game. Now Steers, the big man, going to work on the inside. Bucket in the foul against Troy Hupstead.
Yeah, Steers with a nice back down move. A little turnaround to his strong hand on the left. Got it up on the glass. Opportunity for the three-point play.
And a veteran move for the veteran Justin Steers, who is redshirt senior in his 4th year at Coppin State. Averaging close to 9 points per game. Now we can tell this officiating crew, Frankie, they're certainly having their in-between action conversations with these players, just making sure everybody keeps their wits about them.
Yeah, basically a veteran crew, you know, Leon Sanderfoot, Harold Harris, and Damon Allen. You know, those guys, you know, to make sure that the game is under control, because they understand these are 2 in-state rivals. A lot at stake here.
So a 3-point play earned. And Coppin State right now has to feel amazing. They're hitting their threes. And that last move by Justin Steers means they're hitting their 2s and turning them into 3s. So everything working right now for the Eagles. Pollard pass. Fofana sneaks through the defense.
And again, man, the Hawks have done a good job of just scouting that defense. You know, they're sending that second cutter through. Again, you know, Pollard, you know, being able to see what's going on inside. Great cut by Amadou Fofana and get the easy basket.
And a whistle you can see right in front of the Coppin State bench. One of the Eagles, Isaiah Gross, I think tweaked his knee and is taken off the floor. He's in some serious pain.
I will tell you, it's one of those injuries that, you know, kind of non-contact type injury. I think he was just maybe making a cut or defending the cut or whatever, but he's in a lot of pain over there on the baseline.
So Gross out of the game. Greg Spurlock has jumped on the floor for the Eagles. 2-point Coppin lead. Sessoms, floater game. That rattles home. He has 7.
Well, the scouting report says he can score off the bounce, and he just did, man. Takes it down, elevates, and scores.
Deshaun Phillip rises up and cuts through the nylon for a 3.
Yeah, Deshaun Phillips, you know, seems like every game we do, you know, he makes key baskets at key times. I know it's early in the game, but you can see Coppin getting a little momentum. He comes back with a big 3 and cuts into the lead.
That stays with Coppin. More active Hawks hands as always. UMES and Coppin have both forced 2 turnovers. And the Hawks, again, they turn over this conference better than any team. 30% turnover rate for the defense.
Yeah. And, of course, the Hawks hang their head on their defense.
Sessoms
turnovers.
and it tapped away.
Live ball turnovers.
Right side 3, Boyles. Back-to-back Hawks hits.
See, that live ball turnover, Hawks push it down, throw the cross-court pass, Boyles knocks it down, beat that defense down before it sets up and score. That's a great recipe right there by the Hawks.
Tark spins and kicks. Steers lost it. Stays with the Eagles. Blue. Oh, my goodness, another one. 6 threes in the first half for Coppin State.
Yeah, tell you what, that's how they play. The Hawks got to continue to do what they do. They had the opportunity for another steal. Ball just took an unfortuitous bounce.
Pollard draws the foul. I tell you, Coach, you could see in that last blue three, and that's not the only one we've seen, just that confidence every time Coppin State shoots the three. Doesn't matter if they shoot it from the parking lot.
It's a mentality. You know, when I tell you that this is what they practice, you know, and they feel relaxed and comfortable. They probably work a number of times on certain drills, but these guys shoot the ball with a lot of confidence. Sure, their technique is good, their shot preparation is good, but when you shoot the ball with a lot of confidence, good things happen, and this is how they play. This is what they believe in. And again, we talk about the Hawks staying true to their identity with their defense. Coppin State staying true to their identity with their three-point shooting.
Pollard at the free throw line. You could see Coppin State has knocked down its threes. Hawks coming right behind, 3 of 6. UMES has been sensational in the paint so far. And just lately turning to the perimeter. So Nate Pollard goes 2 for 2.
And again, Nate's really improved his free throw shooting, and that's going to be a big key going down the stretch. Every point's going to be at a premium today, I believe.
Hawks by a nose, 29-28 lead against the Eagles. Kauchich on the floor. Lucas pass intercepted. A lot of numbers for the Hawks. Phillip rolls it inside. Pollard hammered and a foul. Tark can't believe it.
Great execution of the fast break. Live ball turnover. They push it down. Great job, Pollard sealing down inside. Passes delivered on time, on target. Little pump fake. Nate Pollard does what he does best, getting to the free throw line.
Nate averaging 9 and 8 overall, and in conference play is the second best free throw rate, and he's shooting 81% from the free throw line. Coach, your absolute favorite. You touched on him improving. How about 80+% in the conference?
Let me tell you, man, he worked on his free throw shooting, and he made his approach, his routine very simple. He takes just one bounce and shoots it all in one motion. Now, I'll probably jinx him on this, but he'll take one bounce, and he'll shoot it all in one motion. Thank
Coach,
you, Nick. Thank you.
That jinx just for the play-by-play guys.
There you go.
Those analysts, you guys are always right on it.
Richmond, Virginia, Howland Springs High School, Nate Pollard.
Played a back and forth first half. Still plenty of meat left on the bone here. 8:30 to go. 3-point UMES lead. Blue drive and kick. Tark's three. No good. And that looked like it went off Fofana, which Hawks had 4 in the area and couldn't get the rebound.
I tell you, they got out there on the shooter a little bit better. And I thought they would make them. I thought he was going to bank one in from the corner. Then that's when you kind of think back to what kind of day is this going to be. But again, the ball just took kind of an awkward bounce off of Fofana, and Eagles have it underneath their own basket, getting ready to work their inbounds play.
Inbound for Tark, and Voiles gave him a shove. So this foul on the Hawks, number 4.
Well, they just ran a little up screen for Tark at the getting ready to run the same play, only just going to fake it and he's going to cut back.
The Kauchich handoff. Here's Mike Hood. Coppin trying to run its offense. Sessoms with 7 points, leading Coppin State. 5 to shoot. Sessoms going to work. Spin move. Step back. Sam Sessoms. No good. Tap back out. From the right wing. How about another one from Cameron Blue, making the Hawks feel mighty blue from the outside.
And the thing about shooting those threes, long shots, long rebounds, and a great job that time Coppin keeping it alive. Best time to shoot that three is in a scramble type situation off of offensive rebound. And that's what the Coppin State Eagles were able to do.
And now Fofana is called for the carry. And we head to break. 31 up at the Heitch.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa, I like lunch.
What's not to like about 2 crispy, juicy, spicy favorites for just $3.50? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There is something greater than finishing first. True champions stand on principles.
We fight for the right causes. We believe in the
power of teamwork, whether in rebounding, receiving, or in research.
And service and in sportsmanship.
Only a few have what it really takes.
We develop the talent. We unleash the potential.
It all boils down to this. Now
is the time. This is the place.
We are MEAC.
31-31, the 7:43 mark of the first half. He's Frankie Allen. My name is Keith Rad. So, Coach, both these offenses right now are cooking. We've enjoyed quite a solid return for the students coming back to the heights. It's been some fun basketball so far.
Yeah, I tell you, both teams 31-31. We know that the Coppin State Eagles want to shoot the three. The Hawks are trying to defend the three. They're really, making Sessoms work for everything. But, a couple of these other guys have stepped up. Blues hit a couple of threes. And those are the kind of things that what Sessoms is going to do. You just hope that his overall play doesn't get some of these other guys going a little bit. But you look at, 3 for 3, Cameron Blues. That's something you don't have on the scouting report. And again, Sessoms is going to get his. So at the end of the day, two squads going back and forth, a little cat and mouse between the two teams and two squads. Again, Hawks are doing a good job of attacking. When the Hawks can force those turnovers, they get in transition, they score. And the Eagles come down and they can maybe penetrate and kick a little bit and free open threes. They've been able to knock them down.
So hard to look at Coppin State and say, how is this team 1-4 with just the way they shoot the basketball, especially today? They could really do if they knock down almost all these threes. They're 7 of 11, which teams will take over the course of 40 minutes. That's what they're shooting in the first 12. Tark creates an open shot in the corner, and Mike Hood hits another three. And I have to wonder what is going on in Jason Crafton's mind. What could he be thinking right now?
I'll tell you, that's just great offense that time by Coppin State Eagles. They got the cutter going through. Hawks overhelped just a little bit on the drive. Hood knocks down the three-pointer.
Phillip finds a little opening, misses off the side of the backboard, and as Pollard takes it to the cup, he gets hit by Sam Sessoms. So Sessoms commits his first. And Pollard, once again, talk about that free throw rate, which is just his ability to create opportunities at the line. He's already 4 for 4 and back again.
Yeah, again, Nate Pollard is just always around the basketball. I mean, he seeks it out. He's an offensive rebounder. He uses his body. Small, he's 6'5", and he's in there battling. Again, this is what he does,
Front end of a 1-and-1 with 8 fouls against Coppin. So a miss from Nate Pollard.
A lot more movement away from the ball by the Eagles.
Then to Tarks, having a tough start to this game. He's 0 of 4. And now a travel called against Pollard. And the Hawks a little frustrated right now.
And I tell you, Zion Styles trying to be unselfish, but he just gave the ball to Nate in an impossible position. Your big man running like that, he's trying to run to the rim, and you kind of give him that pass. Just kind of one of those decisions that you wish you had back.
Look at this, Mike Hood missed it short. Everything for Coppin State basically going in, so why not? Why not pull up from the logo?
Yeah, I tell you what, it was from the parking lot of the Wendy's up on Road 13.
Styles really hit, and Zion forces his way to the line. The Hawks are not a great team generating free throw line chances, last in free throw rate, but today it's really been a blessing for them. They've had 8 attempts and 18 field goal attempts.
Yeah, and again, Styles does a great job of just willing his way to the basket. Put the onus on the official. You're in the bonus, whatever. Again, sacrifice your body, take it in there. Big thing is capitalize at the free throw line.
You can see at the bottom of your screen that lower third. Let's take those flat-out numbers. It's 24 points for Coppin State from the three-point line and 9 for UMES. I mean, they're just shooting the lights out from the outside.
Yeah, and the Hawks have probably scored more points off of turnovers or in transition, so kind of evens out. But again, both teams, this is what they do. They're trying to do what they do and trying to make it work.
Coppin's already had one game this year, Coach, where they knocked down 16 three-pointers. That was against poor Tennessee Tech that day. 16 makes. They're on their way for more than that right now.
And again, when you're making a three at that kind of clip, man, it's just something you just got to psychologically battle. Because I tell you what, you play pretty good defense, and somebody hits a 28-footer. I mean, that just kind of beats you up mentally a little bit also. So you just got to stay strong, and try to fight your way through all this barrage of three-pointers. But it's not something you haven't been prepared for. This is how they play.
Hawks hanging in there by one despite the outside shooting. Blue, count the three and a foul. Chance for a 4-point play. Cameron Blue has not missed today.
And I know Cameron Blue was on the scouting report, and but goodness gracious, man, he's just in another zone right now. I think during the course of the year, he's like a 31% three-point shooter. Yeah, there he is. He misses a free throw, so he's got to be outside, deep. He's just a deep shooter.
Hawks really sped up on offense right now. Fofana slows it down. 15 on the shot clock. Hawks chasing 4. Coppin on a 9-2 run. Fofana, push off, step back.
Nice defensive possession that time by the Eagles. Forced the Hawks into a tough shot.
Sessum's pass goes right to Mike Hood. That is what Coppin State's first half has felt like.
Yeah. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. And talk about a fortuitous bounce. The ball was deflected, almost like the layup line. Just came right to him, just laid it up.
Coach, right now, Coppin is both lucky and good this first half. Chase Davis, need it. Hawks play a little catch-up from the outside.
Something about the resiliency of this Hawk team. Chase Davis, last game out only had 2 points, but he's a valuable part of this team. Knocks in a big three.
They've had 13 threes made in the first half. Fans have been gifted a show. Another one, Tark. He wakes up from the outside. He was 0 of 4 before that.
And we mentioned the NBA influence. Those are NBA-type plays. You got the guy setting a little end screen. You got a guy in the corner. You throw a cross-court pass on time, on target, and he knocks down the three.
Chase Davis puts his head down, fades away. And Titus with 2 fouls. Out there playing with 4 minutes to go, comes down with the rebound. Sessoms all alone, lays it in.
Again,
and Crafton and the Hawks want to talk this over. They want to call a timeout. So Coppin State right now, 44 points, 27 possessions on one right now. Timeout, Hawks.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa, I like lunch.
What's not to like about 2 crispy, juicy, spicy favorites for just $3.50? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There is something greater than finishing first.
True champions stand on principles. We fight for the right causes. We believe in the
power of teamwork, whether in rebounding, receiving, or in research.
and service and in sportsmanship.
Only a few have what it really takes.
We develop the talent. We unleash the potential.
It all boils down to this. Now
is the time. This is the place.
We are MEAC.
Coppin 44, UMES 36. Coach, timeout for Jason Crafton. What are you telling your team right now?
Yeah, I tell you, what he's just, just trying to get them to just relax a little bit. They kind of run into a little bit of a hot spurt there by the by the Coppin State Eagles. But, Sessoms, we talked about him as a scorer and things that he does for this team. But he's doing a great job as a floor general out there. He's making great decisions, combination of passing and assisting. And that was just an excellent drive to the basket in transition. Sessoms is that guy. He's that guy. We talked about him at the top. And, right now, for this last, 3 minutes and 57 seconds, the Hawks have got to just regain their composure a little bit, chip away a little at a time and get out there and try to defend those threes. And again, this team is just red hot right now.
See if the Hawks, who again hang their hat on that defense, can hope the Coppin State can kind of regress to the mean a little bit and just come down to earth. Say, play down here with us. So the officials say that the shot clock started as the ball was rolling in. Hawks trying to sneak a couple moments there. So a shot clock flub.
I tell you what, man, Juan Dixon is really into this game. It's kind of I won't say a must-win, but they're 1-4, and they've got to really try to create something today on the road.
Boyles, reverse. Kevon's been quiet in this first half.
Yeah, we really played well without the basketball. That was just a nice cut and a nice assist pass there from Nate Pollard. Hawks just need to chip away.
Sessoms draws the foul. JoJo Anderson called for the hold. Well, yeah, Coach, you talk about Juan Dixon and how he's feeling 1-4 right now. Certainly have all of February, which is always a tough month to play in, but you don't want to lose your team, go 1-5. 2-4 looks a lot better. Just moving through in this conference.
Yeah, if you're Coppin, man, to get a road win, I'm telling you, this is something that's needed for them psychologically. And again, it's just a battle of wits. The Hawks want to keep this thing going, undefeated at home. They protect home court. They're right in the thick of things. They're really tied for first place in the league. And we're almost getting to the halfway point of the conference season.
Foul called against Kevon Boyles. So this puts Coppin State at the line. That's the 7th foul against UMES. See Jason Crafton on the right side of your screen on one knee, kind of trying to figure out who's the right buttons to press, because his Hawks defense has been so good this year, right now being tested probably more than they have in a while.
Yeah, again, you get your momentum in a lot of ways, and again, you get your momentum in a lot of ways, and again, scoring, making shots like that. I always say this: you can always tell the guy that scores because he's the first guy back on defense. And again, the Eagles are just generating so much of their offense, and again, it's making them play a lot harder on the defensive end, and all the momentum just seems to be with the Coppin State Eagles.
Toby Nadozie, left wing, seeing the floor for the Hawks. Somehow Boyles kept at least a toenail on the floor. 15 to shoot. Nadozie lays it down for Pollard. Double comes. Pollard fighting. And Nate travels back to the charity stripe after drawing the foul.
Well, Nate Pollard's just strong with the basketball. They had a really nice double team. He got in between the two defenders, got it up on the glass. But again, Coppin State's really playing a really strong brand of defense. A strong brand of defense, that they haven't really maybe shown in some of these games. So again, this is a big effort by the Coppin State Eagles.
Pollard hits. That's now 9 of 11 free throws. Nate has hit 5 of those 9. So pretty good work for Pollard. Left hanging there by Kevon Boyles on the high 5, but we'll see if that throws him off. Heading back for his second shot. I don't think Kevon saw him there.
Well, I tell you, this last 2:59, both ways. I know Coppin try to extend this lead. The Hawks want to cut into it.
So Pollard hits. Right now, Nate Pollard, the leader in the clubhouse for UMES. He's into double figures with 10 points. Sessoms draws another foul. Anderson picks up his second.
And again, you get in a bonus like that, smart player like Sessum's a veteran guy, and again, he kind of forces, JoJo Anderson to got the old hand check call, when you're 40 feet away from the basket, the officials are right there, they're more inclined to call that. And again, Sessum's an 80% free throw shooter, so he knows how to score.
This is Coppin's 24th game. Sessum's already with 11 points. He has scored in double figures in 23 of the 24 games. Pretty wild. But he's done it, Coach, you talked about it in the opening. He's done it every single place he's been, whether it's Binghamton, SUNY Binghamton, or Penn State, the Big Ten, or here in the MEAC. And a timeout called with 2:51 left. A quick 30-second chat. I'll keep it right here. Hawks trail by 8. And again, it's an 8-point game. It's not an 18, 20-point game, but Coppin State right now, Coach, you can feel it. They just have to, UMS has to slow them down because they certainly can't keep up this kind of pace on offense. Not many teams can, by the way.
Yeah, you sometimes have to say to your team, let's just see if we can weather the storm. And I tell you what, the Eagles have been knocking down threes at a pretty high rate.
Here's a look at first place. Hawks there at the top spot with Morgan State and Howard. And Coppin kind of playing a little desperate basketball there with Delaware State towards the bottom of the conference. So this is, as Coach said, an important game for them.
Yeah, the conference is pretty much log jammed up in there. Eastern Shore is kind of like, wow, Eastern Shore is 4-1. You kind of expected a little bit from Morgan and Howard. And again, you look at somebody like Norfolk State, 3-2. So this thing could get really interesting as it goes on, especially if Coppin could pull off an upset up here today.
UMES down by 8. Great tic-tac-toe. Nate Pollard with a gorgeous finish.
Great job coming out of the timeout. Coach Crafton really took that timeout to make sure he got the shot he wanted. Got the ball down in what we used to call that short corner, dove the guy to the basket, got the score. That's just a big basket. Maybe that'll fire the Hawks up here. You score, get a stop on the defensive end.
Looking to stop the bleeding. Coppin State knocking down everything. 10 to shoot. Sessoms. Back to Mike Hood. 3 on the shot clock. Sessoms knows it. Drives. Over one hand and banks it in off glass.
Boy, great defense. Shot clock running down. Running one-handed hook shot. Haven't seen that since Bob Cousy played.
Sessoms with 15 in the first. Styles. Zion, circus shot. Doesn't go for him. And a great takeaway. Phillip ahead. Liftoff for Styles.
Great effort. Just a great effort going after that loose ball. Punching to the head. Big flush down. That time by Zion Styles.
With a chance there for Coppin to take it to double digits. Instead, it's a 2-possession game with $1:15 left in the half. And now another one potentially. Double dribble called. Back to the Hawks with 68 seconds left. This building's starting to feel the energy. One minute to play. First half. Styles, 3. Buries it from the wing. Here come the Hawks. Down by 3. Using this building, using this crowd to their advantage. Tark looking to the corner for Hood. Couple of jab steps and a travel. So the Hawks have the decision to hold for the last shot. 50-47 in the first half, by the way. Both offenses are going wild. Shot clock turned off. Phillip and a tie up. Both officials had it, and the possession arrow stays with the guys in white. So 17 seconds. Hawks are pretty good at the inbound plays. Now the decision to connect right here or hold for the last second or two. Amadou flips it in for Pollard. Back to Fofana, catch and shoot, corner three. We're tied at 50. Five seconds left in the half. Sessoms, no. 50-50 at the break. What a first half. Coppin could not be stopped. And the Hawks close on a monster 8-0 run. And we've got Coach Jason Crafton heading over to the baseline right now. We'll get his thoughts. Send it down to Frank Young. Go ahead, Coach.
Coach Jason Crafton, we've got a good one going here.
They've made too many threes. Our defense doesn't give up this many points in the first half. So for them to get 50 points is disappointing. We got to do a better job.
Look for a great second half from you, Coach. Thank you.
All right, Frankie, so it's 50-50 between UMES and Coppin State. We got a ton more fun coming your way from the Heights. A conversation with Deontay Johnson, stats, and a ton more right after this. Again, Coppin State's season high is 16. The most that UMES has allowed this year is 12. And, again, Coach, you've watched a lot of basketball. You've coached a lot of basketball. There's always a kind of come-down-to-earth moment. Now, can the Hawks bring it down as fast as they can against Coppin State? Because their defense really needs to have an impact in this game.
Well, they got to stop right off the bat there. So let's see if the Hawks can capitalize. What they want to do is get stops and scores right here.
Boyles into a three. And both teams with an early miss after both shots better than 60% in the first half.
Coppin State's going to hold true to form. They're going to come down and shoot the three ball. That's what they did in transition. Got a good look, but didn't get it to go down.
Zion Styles, 14 points to lead the Hawks. Phillip from the corner rattles the three home. The Hawks have the lead at 53-50.
Yeah, big basket there by Deshaun Phillip.
Early part of the game was a lot of back and forth. Hawks haven't led since 31-28. They keep the lead, but Coppin State gets its first bucket of the second half.
Yeah, just kind of easy basket there, a little screen and roll action. You usually don't see teams get to the basket with that. Usually a lot of support defense just missing on that last possession.
Pollard, little space to create. That's tapped out to Sam Sessoms.
Strong drive to the basket, just didn't get it to go down.
Driving kick, no whistle under the basket. Coach, you had a question. Can Cameron Blue keep hitting? Yes.
Well, I tell you what, Cameron Blue's making a believer out of a lot of people. I'm still a little hesitant, but again, he keeps knocking them down. I'm going to have to say, tip my hat to Cameron Blue.
No look pass. Boyles trying to finish it off and push the reverse layup. By the way, Cameron Blue's season high, 4 made threes. If you're just joining us, he's 5 for 5, a snipe show today. And Sessoms gets the roll.
Again, the Hawks have come down and had to take a couple of tough shots. Eagles have come down and taken some shots in the paint and got them to go down.
And the officials blew the whistle afterwards for a little squeegee stop. And Damon Allen is going to be collecting 2 checks today. Here comes the staff.
All right. That might have been a fortuitous type interruption there because Coppin had scored the last couple of baskets. So I don't know who spotted the floor needed to be squeegee, but let's see how it works out.
It's a 7-0 Coppin run after an early make from the outside for the Hawks. Phillip, he's got a confident look about him today.
Well, that's what, he does what needs to be done. I call him the Swiss Army knife. Sometimes he just, if he needs to score, he scores. If he needs a big defensive stop, he'll do that.
3-pointers have still been flying in off the shelf. Tark gets fouled on the way in. That last three from Deshaun Phillip kind of Curry-esque in the fact that he let it go right in front of his coach, and he was almost headed back before the ball went through the basket.
Sometimes as a shooter, Hawks 8 for 12 in three-pointers. We're talking about Coppin State making three-pointers. The Hawks have made 8. Coppin State's made 11, so it might be a three-point shooter. I know Coach Crafton stresses defense. I hang my head on the defense. Some nights, some days, the game just has a mind of its own. And this might be one of those shootouts, so you got to be able to win in the 56-47 type games or the 60-point games. This one may get into the 80s, be entertaining to the fans. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
Tark hits 2. So Nenda Tark, really slow start. 1 of 6 from the floor, but the free throw line's been kind to him. He has 6 points, and Coppin leads by 3. Sessoms gets out on Voiles. Good cut for Pollard. And Nate Pollard continues to get to the free throw line. He's a workhorse. He's got a dozen points already. And another trip to the charity stripe.
Yeah, and our attack against this half-court defense is kind of hybrid-type defense that Coppin plays from time to time. It's been excellent. We've gotten that same thing at high-low look, and Nate catching the ball down, in the paint, opportunity to score from the free throw line.
That make has him 7 of 8 from the line. It's by far the best free throw day for anybody on the floor. Second one good, so they're going to whack Pollard. Nate's going to make him pay at the line. He's 8 of 9.
Well, I know Nate feels good about that, man. Knocking down those free throws.
A 1-point game. This has been a thriller. 2 Maryland teams going at it. Princess Anne against Baltimore. Sessoms from Baltimore. In and out.
Well, I tell you, that was deep. They're really feeling it, but that's what Sessoms, he has a green light. He has no restrictions.
Fofana behind the back. Styles rises up. And Pollard with a little excuse me offensive rebound. And the putback.
Workhorse, man, just a workhorse, Keith, I tell you. Nate Pollard.
Little stick back, Hawks by 1. Neither team is taking its foot off the gas in the second half. Sessoms. Back-to-back close ones.
Yeah, nice adjustment. They just kind of run in that Sessoms every time, sending a second defender, making him do something unnatural with the ball.
Pollard, teardrop.
Nate Pollard just making himself available down there, finding the open areas.
Tark working to get the switch.
Kevon Voiles just staying attached to Sessoms.
Steers his pass. Finds its way in Mike Hood's hands. 5 to shoot, bounce pass, Steers. Oh, before the dunk, called for the travel, and Steers cannot believe it. He almost flushed that one home.
Yeah, but it's a good call. He picked up that pivot foot before he put it on the floor. Referee was right there. It makes the call back there on the baseline. Excellent call.
Quick timeout. Hawks by 3 in the second half.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeart Radio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at Ticketsmarter.com.
When you're part of something bigger than yourself, it feels like all you ever do is win, win, win. And when that something is an HBCU, you know you can't help but win, win, win. So, as proud supporters of HBCU programs, we just can't lose.
Hawks lead the Eagles 62-59. We have continued this frenetic pace in the second half. We went to halftime at 50-50. And Coach, you just talked a moment ago about sometimes the game just dictates its personality to you. And for a team like the Hawks that likes to keep you to 50 points, likes to suffocate you, today you kind of throw the book out the window. Well, for the coaching staff that preaches defense, is that okay for a day? Because right now they're doing better than keeping up. They had the lead in the shootout.
Yeah, you have to stay in the moment. I mean, and in this particular moment, this game's just turned into like an offensive back and forth. It's not the ideal the way this game is unfolding if you're Jason Crafton. They hang their head on the defense. My halftime interview said this is unacceptable. We've given up 50 points, and it's just – but sometimes the game has a mind of its own. If it turns into a shootout and the Hawks win, then they'll tell them that, hey, we can win in a variety of ways. And for the fans that are here, they're enjoying this. They like to see those three-pointers going in. But again, the game is sometimes will dictate to you how it's going to be played. Change of defense here by the Coppin State Eagles.
So Hawks attacking a new look. Outscored Coppin 12-9 in the second half. Deshaun Phillip just missed it short. Pollard living today. Give him 20 points and the foul.
Well, Nate Pollard's having that special kind of day. With all these three-pointers and all these things, he's doing what he does. He's staying true to himself. I'm an offensive rebounder. I'm going to put myself in position, to be able to offensive rebound, stick-back baskets. We should call him, doing all the dirty work down inside. Nate's just been a workhorse down there. He's been all year long. Again, he's just having a big night. Again, scoring inside and getting to the free throw line.
Tied for his D1 best, 20 points. Had a game against Maris back in the non-con that he poured in 20, a lot of it from the free throw line. That's been the kind of day it's looked like today for Nate, who has now 21 points, a new career high.
And again, if the Hawks want to stick their defense, this is the time to start sticking it. Score and stop. That's what you want.
Hawks get the stop. It's a 9-0 UMES run. Take a look at that bottom number as well. The Hawks, they've been keeping up from the three-point line, Coach, but in the paint, dominating. So if they can revert back to tough defense and hard-nosed in the paint, it suits them well.
Yeah, again, 28 points in the paint. That's what they do. And, again, that's led by Nate Pollard.
Phillip looking for another. Deshaun some early makes. He's missed his last two from the outside. Tark draws the foul. Tark and Sessoms have been two for Coppin State that have had a nose for getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, again, a good job of forcing Tark to go to his right. He's not as effective, but again, he gets to the free throw line. But that may be a good thing for the Hawks, because Tark's not a very good free throw shooter.
Came into the game 58 for 105. It's kind of crazy because he's just a flat-out good shooter. Just when he gets to the free throw line, things change a little bit for him.
Got that one to roll around. Didn't shoot it with a lot of confidence, so he seemed a little tight. But again, every point in a game like this is going to be very, very critical. So we'll see how he does on the second one.
It's a Coppin team that has lost 4 in a row. Really would love a win like this. Meanwhile, the Hawks 7-0 at home, trying to stay tied for first in the MEAC. Fofana gets a step. Amadou had it whacked. Looked like Titus might have got a pinky on it. Sessoms bounces to the corner. Spurlock had it go off a Hawk, so it stays with Coppin.
Was Spurlock very, very fortunate there, kind of lost the ball. The deflection ball goes out on the Hawks, and the Eagles are able to retain possession, but kind of driving down that, what I call the baseline, not going anywhere. It's like driving down Sewer Alley, just going nowhere. Got bailed out with a lucky break.
Catch and shoot, turnaround. Mike Hood missed it. Hawks like to push. Boyles, the open shooter. Cohen Thompson, big three from the corner. And Nate Pollard ends up on his back. He got pushed. So, Coach, you talk about it all the time. Cohen Thompson kind of that hired gun from the outside making it happen.
Yeah, he's a stretch forward. When he knocks in that corner three or knocks in the three, that just helps the Hawks out so much offensively. And again, you know, the Hawks are making some shots. Their defense has picked up a little bit. They're getting some stops up on the other end, and they're extending the lead. So all those three-point shots that the Eagles were making, you know, a couple times they stopped going in, and the Hawks have just kind of kept their consistency on the defensive end, and again, making sure they're getting good shots on the offensive end and knocking down some threes of their own.
On the inbound, Styles hangs but left it a little bit short. So Pollard got knocked down as the ball went through the basket. Coppin called for the foul. That's why the Hawks get the ball back. And if you were a Hawks team in the bonus in that moment, you would have had free throws right after the made three. So Coppin now looking for the answer. They've kind of hit a rut, just 3 for 9 in the second half.
Yeah, the big thing is I'm watching the Hawks bench. Pollard kind of came up to the front of the bench to let him know, I'm ready to go back in, coach. So he took him out after that hard foul.
Styles knocks it out of Sessoms' hands. Cohen Thompson giving Zion a high five, and Sessoms goes, I'll take some.
And I tell you, you know, the Hawks are being more active with their hands. You know, they're really tightening up their defense, you know, contesting some of those three-point shots. Again, Coach Crafton said, man, it's unacceptable to give up the number of points that we did.
Hey, look out, Frankie. They're coming for you.
Well, I tell you what, they know how to get it to a score, man, because I was about ready to go out there. They were in trouble scoring. I'd go out there and get it. Well, if you see my instincts, man, I was trying to protect. Trying to get one there.
Trying to get it to the all-time leading NCAA scorer in the history of the state of Virginia, any level. Let's give Frankie Allen a quick Google search
there you go.
later today. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. 2,780 points.
Thank you, Keith. Man, you be my publicist.
Zion, crossover. Pass intended for Davis. Chase stepped on the line on his way to the basket.
The Hawks picking up here, trying to put and again, the Eagles don't play a lot of people. They play, their starters play a lot of minutes. When you play at this frenetic pace, as the game wears on, the fatigue could set in. So that might be something to look going down the stretch.
Tark floating through the lane. Styles up for the rebound. Hawks defense starting to suffocate. Chase Davis, step back three. Styles keeps it alive. Fofana off on the triple from that right wing.
The Hawks play with a lot of energy.
Sessoms gets the ISO.
This is a big possession. Sessoms wants to take this one. The Hawks are really gearing up. Fofana not letting him get the ball back.
Hood missed everything. Coppin running out of gas on offense. Kind of behoove the Hawks keep the clock moving right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're pushing the pace against Coppin State. Shot clock down to 10. Boyles. Oh, yeah, big triple. 10 3-pointers from the Hawks.
The Hawks are on the run right now. Coppin looks a little bit out of sorts. And again, the Hawks have picked up their defense.
Largest lead of the game. The answer, not happening. Boyles says, give me that.
It's hard to keep up that torch shooting like that on the three-pointers. And again, it's a game where it's on. Your legs get a little bit heavy. Those shots that were dropping about a half hour, 40 minutes ago, just aren't dropping right now. But give the Hawks credit. Their defense, they've always been a hand in the face. They've really upped their defense.
Somehow Fofana keeps it, and Boyles buries the three.
That's the mentality of this team. Fofana lost it, dove on the floor, got it, kicked it back out to the shooter. This is why the Hawks are winning basketball going. Those are winning plays right there.
It's a 14-point UMES lead. What a response. Hood, three coming. Got it. And a timeout taken by Juan Dixon. And we'll take 1-2. This building is come alive. The Hawks have brought a couple fans to their feet. good one here from the height.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people like Geico because it's just easy. Bundling, for example. You've got car insurance here and home insurance here. Why not? Zoop, put them together. Save even more. Some things are better together, aren't they? Like, tea and crumpets. You wouldn't bundle just anything. Like, say, a porcupine in a balloon factory. No, that'd be a mess. I mean, for starters, porcupines are famously no good in a team setting.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
With Frankie Allen, my name is Keith Ratt. Speaking of Frankie Allen in Richmond, Virginia, your boy Nate Pollard has played pretty well today. He's 2 rebounds shy of a double-double.
Yeah, I tell you, he's representing the Commonwealth of Virginia in fine fashion today. I just like the way Nate plays, man. He's always around the basket. He plays hard. He gives you the energy. You know, he gives you the intangibles. You know, those plays, setting screens. If he's not setting screens, defensively, he's making things tough. He's always putting himself in the position for an offensive rebound. He's never flat-footed, always up on his toes. They call them garbage baskets sometimes, those ones that just ain't. And he's making a living down there. It would behoove the Eagles to try to put a body on him. The one time that they did, I think they got called for a foul. But Nate's having an outstanding day. And, again, it all leads to this big lead or this lead that the Hawks have gotten. It started on the defensive end, but really the aggressive play down inside, anchored by Nate Pollard.
Again, it's just been game after game for the Hawks where you look at them, you line up bodies on one side and the other, and you go, well, UMES is undersized. But Nate Pollard always surprises you with how well 6'5" plays in this league with his, as the Hawks say, their tenacity.
Yeah, tenacity, I'm telling you, the passion. But Nate's just got a big heart, man. He plays with a lot of heart.
And when he is gone, of course, it's a long way to go for that, but he's really going to be missed. His pass, looking for Voiles, couldn't find it. Coppin trying to cut it to single digits. Sessoms trying to get his own miss. And Blue keeps it in. And Styles pokes it out. So that should take us to a media timeout. 10:36 to go, second half. Hawks looking to stay unbeaten at home, up by 11 against Coppin State.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeart Radio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
Back at the Heights in Princess Anne, Maryland. We're on Facebook Live today. Maryland Eastern Shore coming in at 4-1 in the MEAC. They're going to get to 5-1 and stay head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. Right now the Shore is up there with Morgan and Howard. Speaking of, Morgan State is taking on Delaware State today. They're at the half up on Del State by 1. And then Howard taking on NC Central tonight, Coach, on ESPNU. They get the 6 o'clock slot on the U today. So that's not an easy matchup, though, Howard and NC Central.
No, I tell you, that was, NC Central, we're coming off the big win. The Hawks coming off that big win at NC Central. So they, NC Central don't want to lose 2 in a row. But again, it's a big battle down there So it's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds when we get into Sunday morning, because the Hawks, doing a great job here. They could wake up in the morning 5-1 and then sole possession of first place in the MEAC almost at the halfway point.
Right now they have played really well to start the second half. Still a ton of time left. 10:30 to go. Coppin State desperate for a victory to snap this 4-game slide. Titus floats in the lane. Got his own miss. Second chance, no good. Little ping pong, and the Hawks can't hold on.
Well, it's really, didn't secure the rebound. That won't make Jason Crafton happy because every defense possession, you got to finish it with the rebound. Had their opportunities. But again, they came out with a lot of energy and putting a lot of pressure on Sessoms, making them give the ball up, making somebody else take it to the basket and try to score.
Sessoms, by the way, just 2 second-half points. Wants it back.
They're going to run at him, make him give it up. That's what they want to do.
There's
Get it out of his hands.
5 to shoot. Blue had it denied. That's his first miss from the floor.
Yeah, like I said, Blue may come down to earth.
Boyles just missed the N1.
A nice strong move by Kevon Boyles of just being strong with the basketball. Stepping in between the two defenders, getting it up on the glass. Almost got it to go down.
Kevon, 13 points today, his first trip. Had just 4 points against NC Central. It was just a low-scoring game in general, 59-58, certainly compared to this one. Had 27, though, against South Carolina State. That's more of the type of year that Kevon's been having.
Hawks are doing a good job at the free throw line, 14 for 16. And, again, that's one of the goals, that Jason Crafton wants you to, make more free throws in your opponent's attempt, but you come back at least 80%. So far, so good this afternoon.
Pollard scratching and clawing. Couldn't keep it with the Hawks. Spurlock, how about that take? Confident with the left hand.
Yeah, I tell you, Hawks gambled in the backcourt there a little bit. Spurlock did a good job of just attacking the basket.
Spurlock getting some playing time. Isaiah Gross left the game earlier. Looked like a lower half injury. He was in some serious pain coming off the floor. Certainly didn't look like he was going to return. Boyles just missed. Oh, would have brought the house down in the step back. Titus backing down Voiles. No angle. Passes out of it. Gets it back. Tried to slip it down low for Spurlock, and Pollard takes it away. Davis up ahead of the pack. The flush. No. Oh, JoJo trying to make the steal. Voiles left it short. And on the other end, Steers denied by Nate Pollard.
Woo. Wow, what great action, man. JoJo almost getting the steal, diving on the floor up the loose ball. Looks like Nate got all ball to me, but again, I might be a little biased. I know Richmond, Virginia is Virginia State, but I'm telling you, that brought the crowd into it.
And Pollard called for the foul. The whole gym looking for the block. So now Steers trying to put a pair through. It's got that MEAC feel to it today.
Nate's third foul, 8:41 to go, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Nice move there by the coaching staff, Coach Crafton and his coaching staff. Get Nate out of there, don't really pick up that fourth foul this early.
And Nate's been, we talk about how important he's been. He's actually done a really nice job staying in games. He has not fouled out at any point this year. So Steers hits both. This gym feels like the Hawks are up by 20 right now. It is a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are still, especially the way they shoot the three. They've missed a few here, and the Hawks have tightened up their defense, defending the three, and they, playing with a lot of energy, but there's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Davis thought about a three. 5 on the shot clock. Phillip up with a three. Thompson the rebound.
Nice play there by Cohen Thompson. Saved the possession. Had to take a very difficult three-pointer with the shot clock going down. Now the Hawks get the reset.
Grafton calls a play. Phillip, pass for Styles, and Zion hit on his way to the basket. And as he heads to the free throw line, we'll head into a break. Hawks outscoring the Eagles by 10 in the second half. Lead 77-67 on Facebook Live.
You ready for this? March 8th through the 11th. The crowd, the players, focused on one thing. The Norfolk Scope Arena. 8 schools battling, but one champion will stand. So who's it gonna be? Get your tickets now and come see. Step in. Have your face in the place. The MEAC Basketball Tournament.
When you're twins, you do everything together. Play together, argue together. We even got jobs at McDonald's together. Our mom was like, girls, a job there could do you some good. We're working, making money. Then we found out McDonald's has college tuition assistance. We were like, what? Yeah. We both got money for college. Both got accepted to Indiana State. This spring, we're graduating together. Bachelor's in psychology, criminal justice. See, we're totally different.
Ten-point game, 7:58 left to play in the second half. Hawks trying to stay in first place. Eagles trying to snap this 4-game losing streak. And Coach, we talked about halftime. We talked about would Coppin State shoot as nuts as they did in the first half, where they dropped 50 on 10 threes. They're just 2 for 8 from the outside. But the question is, can they heat up again?
For sure, everything's possible. They could heat up again, but again, going back to my halftime comment made to me from Jason Crafton, he said, man, we're going to tighten up our defense. He said, this is unacceptable. So through the first 12 minutes or so, they've only given up 17 points, and they really defended the three. And they're doing a lot of things like they're running at Sessions, making him give the ball up, and making some of those other players make some shots. And again, Cameron Blue, the last one he shot was an air ball. So, again, I don't know if he could keep up that torrid shooting that he had the first half. But, again, putting a little bit of pressure on him. Hawks got to play with some focus right here, make sure that they do all the little things. This is kind of a crucial step at the 7:58 mark of the second half. Make your free throws, play solid on the defensive end.
Styles having a day already. He's out there for 2 free throws. That make now 15 points and 8 assists, which is a game high by far for the kid from Long Island, from Uniondale. Well, you've got a Richmond, Virginia guy. Nothing wrong with Long Island there.
No, Long Island guy, man. Yeah, Uniondale, man. I told you, I did a little bit of an interview early in the year with Zion. He's got a brother named Jazz that's really an outstanding player. Uniondale in the house.
Almost the largest Hawks lead. It was 14, now down to 12. Steers leans in, misses. Thought he was fouled.
Well, I tell you, you had a pretty good look, but you can't play for the foul, man. You just got to go take it strong and finish that. That was a big miss there.
Fofana, great pass, and Styles fouled once again.
Well, I tell you, Coach Crafton and his staff, man, let's give them credit. They've really figured out this little jump defense. And what they do, they overload to one side, then they run a cutter along the baseline. How many times have we seen that play? And, again, this is Styles who ran the score. But, again, Coach Crafton and his staff, Monte Brandon, Kasim Kaba, Larry Roberson, they've been on top of this little defense. And, again, every time they come out of a timeout, they seem to have something cooked up for them.
Yeah, we saw early with all the paint points, all the takes that the Hawks would have driving to the basket. It seemed clogged. Now it seems that they're kind of distracting Coppin State one way, trying to slip that back screen in there.
Yeah, and again, that's what they do. They kind of get that, the first cutter going through, then they, reverse the ball up to the top, send a second cutter along the baseline like Zion Styles, get to the free throw line.
Styles 1 of 2 trip. Tark lost it, loose change. Easy pickings for Deshaun Phillip.
And again, stay true to your identity. Defense travels travels back home when you play. So again, right now the Hawks are pretty much in control of what they want to do offensively and defensively. Zion Styles wants it in the low post. If they see him, he's got a mismatch there, and he's got Sessoms on it. See what he can do here.
They get it to him. He kicks out of the double, and Davis stepped on the line, but the ball went in the basket. It doesn't count. Out of bounds, back to Coppin State.
And again, nobody feels any worse about that than Chase, but, the coaches stress all the time, court awareness. And you see that so many times here. I know with the three-point shot, everybody's trying to play behind the three-point line, but, stepping on that sideline like that is just kind of a no-no.
Sessoms carries it again. 15 first half points, 2 in the second half, and now a scramble. Jump ball, possession arrow, gives it back to the Hawks.
Great job by Cohen Thompson, getting down on the floor after the loose ball, drawing the top, and the possession arrows with the Hawks.
Saw Kevon come out a couple moments ago, but number 4 back in there for UMES. Meanwhile, Daniel Titus, who hit 2 early threes and hasn't scored since. Big guy's back in on the floor at 6'8". And now Juan Dixon calls a 30-second timeout, so keep it right here. So now for Juan Dixon, coach, it's always the question when you're a team that plays fast and shoots more threes than other teams take in a season in a single game. It's frustrating when they're not going in moments like this, but you kind of stick to it.
Well, you got to. This is what you do. This is what you practice. So at the end of the day, Coppin State just can't reinvent themselves. I mean, if you look at any scouting report from any coach in the league or anybody that plays them, they are committed to shooting the three.
And there you see, 30 points from the three-point line in the first half to 6 in the second half. It really takes wind out of their sails as a team.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. It's just hard to keep up that kind of shooting. And I mentioned Blue, not picking on him, but he was making shots. And now, second half, that stuff catches up with you. So, three-point shot, you hear this expression all the time. Sometimes you live by the three, you die by the three. But again, give the Hawks credit. They've got those defended them and making those shots a little bit tougher second half.
Pollard staying patient in the double team. Phillips shot interrupted by Blue, who gets it back along the sideline. And maybe, now look at Nate Pollard getting back, getting down, and a timeout taken by UMES.
Saves the possession. Possession arrow would have gone to the Eagles, but again, Nate just on the floor, doing a little bit of everything.
The Crafton sneaks in a 30-second timeout of his own to save Nate Pollard, who is on his back there, saving the possession. We told you about Nate Pollard's career day and then some, already with 21 points, Coach.
And again, going down the stretch, probably get to the free throw line, the way he plays, offensive rebounds. Again, the Hawks want to finish strong. They want to finish strong. Right now, you can kind of sense that they've got the Coppin State Eagles a little bit back on their heels. Those bounces that the Eagles were getting first half, were the easy plays, or the ball kind of bouncing. Seemed like the Hawks are kind of making their own luck here, so to speak. They're generating a lot of different things from the defensive end. So, again, this last 6:14, to see how well the Hawks can kind of finish the game out from the 6-minute mark. And Coppin's going to make a run, so you got to make sure you play steady through this period of time. 6:14 to go in the game.
So Juan Dixon, I think in that last moment or so, got Damon Allen's ear, and it's something to him that the officials, that is, will walk over to the monitor and take a look at the last play. Not sure exactly what Juan Dixon had in mind when he asked for a little peek at the monitor, but
well, you can go to the monitor to look for a number of things. I mean, obviously, it could be maybe a foul, a flagrant foul, or somebody going to something we didn't see, or sometimes something that occurs above the shoulders, or it could be you have this opportunity to get the officials' ear. You know, you don't play a lot of people. You got one of your players that got hurt early. The fatigue factor may be coming in. It may be a way of just trying a little gamesmanship. I'm just saying, I don't know. We don't have any idea. But, again, this is like a timeout that you kind of get by, you know, requesting that they look at whatever it is they want to look at. So, again, you don't know. I mean, you know, we don't have a monitor over here. So let's see what the officials, Damon Allen and Harold Harris and Leon Sandiford, see what they come up with. Whatever it is, they're giving an explanation to from what I can tell, I think that Coach Dixon thought maybe when they secured the rebound, they threw the elbows, and he's wanting to make sure that didn't happen. And I think by rule, you can request that. So it was probably a good decision by Coach to get that little extra time.
Boyles airmails the 3, so no flagrant, no nothing. Just look at the monitor. And Sessoms with a little Euro got fouled, and so Sam Sessoms to the line.
Yeah, nice offensive move there by Sessoms. You know, a little Euro step. I think Amadou Fofana gave up a little bit more ground and maybe just held his position. He may have gotten a charge call.
Call that one on Thompson, his third. Sessoms, yes, can do it all. 60% from 2, nearly 40% from 3, and then at the line, 80% free throw shooter.
Yeah, Sessoms is that guy. I mean, he's that guy. I mean, he's somebody you can hang your head on. And again, you know, going down the stretch here, I'm sure Coach Dixon and his staff are going to, you know, want to put the ball in his hands. Conversely, defensively, the Hawks are going to pay close attention to him, try to get the ball out of his hands.
It's an 11-point lead. Under 6 to go, 2-on-1. That pass for Pollard knocked away. And now the call. And it's going to stay with UMES.
Yeah.
So Nate Pollard on the floor, Coach. He's out there with 3 fouls, but maybe you don't mind that with 5 minutes left?
No, I'll tell you what, man, you got to let him play, you know, just like that. I mean, Nate's a veteran guy. I think that Coach Crafton trusts him not to make what he would call a silly foul, you know, reaching in foul or something away from the basket. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't pick up a 4th foul going for an offensive rebound or whatever, but, again, I think you let him play, you know.
The official just making sure that the right time is on the shot clock at 19 seconds. Inbound for Pollard. Pollard's pass looking for Voiles. Taken away. Here comes Coppin State. Sessoms around and out. He remains cold from the floor in the second half. Ice cold.
Yeah, I tell you, man, he had a guy on the left side that could have shot a layup. You know, that's how they play. You know, they shoot the 3. But, man, down 11 points. I think I may have taken that short 2 points on the other end.
And Fofana, the word of the last few minutes has been court awareness. Steps on the sideline. Gives it up.
Again, that's the second time we've seen that. Chase Davis a little bit earlier than Fofana that time. Again, that court awareness. And all these possessions are critical or crucial. You know, 11-point lead, you know, you want to make sure you get a shot every time.
Tark lost it on the way in. Turnovers are adding up in the second half for Coppin State.
Yeah, Tark really not going anywhere with that drive to the basket. Again, the Hawks trying to see what they can score out of their half-court offense here.
Boyles through the paint, looking for help. Fofana. Offensive rebound for Pollard. Back to Fofana. Great look. So Pollard with a double-double and now 6 assists for the big guy.
Man, Nate, man, you know, showing his versatility, you know, getting the offensive rebound, giving a little nod to Fofana, cut along the baseline, delivering the pass on time, on target. 2 points for the Hawks.
Sessoms. Wow, still that doesn't fall. And that pass, Pollard saves it.
Well,
the Hawks getting the bumps and the bruises their way in the last few minutes.
Man, that was a heck of a catch. Looked like those Bengals receivers. Chase.
That's right, Cigar Joey tomorrow, Coach, against Kansas City. Under 4. 1 on the shot clock. And Blue lost it. So give it back to the Hawks, who have grown the lead to 13 points, right around their largest lead of the game. Trying to close it out against Coppin State. Stay atop the MEAC. We're back right after this on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people like Geico because it's just easy. Bundling, for example. You've got car insurance here and home insurance here. Why not? Zip, put them together. Save even more. Some things are better together, aren't they? Like tea and crumpets. You wouldn't bundle just anything. Like, say, a porcupine in a balloon factory. Now, that'd be a mess. I mean, for starters, porcupines are famously no good in a team setting.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
Well, big credit to Maryland Eastern Shore for what they have done in the second half. They have held Coppin State to just 19 points, Coach, and we didn't know what to expect. We've been talking about a shootout and a barn burner and all this kind of stuff, and here's the Hawks getting back to their identity, really suffocating Coppin State's offense.
I mentioned this a little bit earlier. My halftime little talk with Coach Crafton. He was upset. I mean, being a coach, I just kind of backed off a little bit. He said, this is unacceptable, 50 points. That's not us. And so I'm saying, well, sometimes games, have a mind of their own. But I tell you what, man, they held true to who they are, and they played, so far. I mean, only giving up, 19 points in the second half with under 4 minutes to play. So the game got back to its true identity as far as the Hawks were concerned. And again, just trying to see if we can finish out this last 349s. And it's going to be frenetic because, the Eagles have got to come out and just kind of play all out, lights out. They've got to do a lot of different things. Hawks need to take care of the ball, make their free throws, and be solid on the defensive end.
Hawks can play a little keep away, building this double-digit lead. Let the clock bleed down. Single digits on the shot clock. Voiles knifing through. 16 points for Voiles.
Well, I tell you, just a strong drive to the basket, man. Just got his body in position to get it up on the glass and score.
Hawks' largest lead of the game at 15 points. That's knocked out of the way by Zion Stiles. And it stays with Coppin.
The Hawks have picked up their defense, man. They're really just, getting out after deflections, active hands. This is how they play.
Certainly a testament to the full 40 minutes of that defense. Breaks it down after a while.
We're going to play close attention to Sessoms right here.
Nenda Tark. Pollard pulls it down and gets fouled. Pollard just lighting up the stat sheet today. 21 and 11 right now, and 4 assists away from a triple-double.
Okay, again, Hawks have the opportunity to just put the game away from the free throw line.
Done a bang-up job so far from the line. 17 for 21. It's actually a part of their game. Pollard hits the front end of a 1-and-1. Part of their game that is at the bottom of the MEAC right now. They are last in the conference in free throw percentage. That's not the case right now.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's on a day-to-day basis, today they up their numbers here.
Pollard good for both.
Well, Nate's just having a fantastic afternoon. And they just face guard Sessoms out here.
Mike Hood right on cue with a parking lot three. Coppin's going to shoot a lot of those with this huge deficit, down by 14 points. 3-on-2 the other way. The Hawks not going to be suckered into allowing Coppin to potentially get a stop in the ball back.
Yeah, Deshaun Phillips doing a good job of just saying, we're going to run a little clock here. And again, Deshaun can run the point. He can run the point at his size, 6'6". Really smart basketball player.
With 3 on the shot clock, Phillips.
That was Deshaun Phillips. That was the Deshaun Phillips possession. Back the ball out. You know, just a smart basketball player. A smart basketball play. Then knocks down the 3. Good job by Deshaun Phillips.
From the corner, Tark. He lets his 3 rip. Nothing doing.
Looks like the Eagles have run out of gas. Like I said, they don't play a lot of people. You know, the starters play many minutes, sometimes in the mid-30s. So again, you can just see that the Hawks are just doing a good job of finishing this game out.
And have no problem taking their time on offense. This is Styles with 3. Styles with 2. Zion. No good. Pollard tried to knock it back in. And Coppin gets it back with just 96 seconds left. Coach, the way this game began, threes raining in for Coppin. They dropped 50 in the first half. I don't know, the Hawks, they might not be able to keep up today. Well, they have now blown Coppin off the floor in the second half.
And those threes just weren't dropping, man. At the end of the day, the first half, they looked pretty good. Again, the Hawks defense just prevailed second half. Just all out now, just grit, determination. They use the term tenacity. You know, the passion that they play and tenacity really came to the forefront this afternoon for the Hawks.
Phillip with 5. Minute left in the game. Styles, really tough shot, but it goes in. Zion Styles, 92 points for the Hawks offense. Zion getting the crowd into it. Now the Hawks have been pounding their own chests from 3 today. 13 makes from the outside. What a day for this offense. Tied for a season high on a day where they needed them the most. Best offensive output, by the way, of the year against a D1 opponent. Season high is 95 against D3 Clark Summit. Well, they're on the precipice of that. Deontay Johnson on the floor. Toby Nadozie. Victory Naboya. Take a look at the scores. Again, Hawks up there with Morgan State and Howard coming up a little bit later. Right now, Delaware State leading Morgan. That is humongous. As Frankie said, it's a chance. Hawks could wake up tomorrow morning in first. Deontay. Oh, yes. DJ off the bench. Cameron Blue looking for the 3. Hood fires away. And Mike Hood knocks it down, 16 points. A whistle to get the clock back in order. But the Hawks moving to now 8-0 at home. Shot clock turned off. What a performance. 50 points in the first half. 44 points in the second half. The Hawks stay atop the MEAC and stay unbeaten at home. Eastern Shore 94, Coppin State 75. Nate Pollard today 23 and 12. Another double-double. Meanwhile, Zion Styles with 20 points and 8 assists. in this contest. Shut down Sam Sessoms in the second half, just 4 points, and withstood that Coppin State offense. We're ready to send it to the baseline. It's Frank